Welcome to Birds of Prey Sports Talk, where we weekly cover Ravens and Orioles news. We're your hosts, TJ and Garrett. And in this video, we're going to be doing a recap of the Ravens versus Jaguars game. And, you know, I don't know what to feel about this game. The score made it seem like we were dominant, but it was a lot of mistakes made in this game. And, it was a very sloppy game, I'll say, but we ended up getting the dub. We win 23-7, go down in Jacksonville and finally win a place that seems like it's a dead zone for the Ravens. We haven't been able to, get a win there in a while, or seems like we haven't. So, it's good, finally good to see us get a win there in our prime time. So,
Mhm.
kudos to the team. But I just want to start by saying, Lamar is just a magician in the pocket. I mean, you saw how he had that one Jaguars defensive lineman. He looked like he was crying on the field. Like he just couldn't catch the
Explaining
ball.
life.
Yeah.
It's like, why
And
do I do this?
yeah. And Lamar he was just making plays in the pocket all night, just extending plays. He obviously had a couple of them to likely, one for a touchdown, one for that amazing, what was it, a 30-yard pass or something like that?
Something like
Just
that, yeah.
it was just incredible to see what he was doing. And he also had a nice throw to OBJ, I think his only catch of the game on Sunday. So, Lamar was just doing some special things in the pocket. And we need him to do that, because how shaky our O-line is. I wish it wasn't that way, but you know, that's just the Lamar hero ball we've been getting lately. So,
Yeah.
kudos to him. But what are your opinions, on the game?
Yeah, definitely like one of the very few games this year where Lamar's had to kind of really kind of play kind of hero. Obviously he had to do it last week versus the Rams. But I mean kudos to before we get into the like offense, I just want to say kudos to the defense, man.
Oh yeah.
And they, what's it called? Like two really, shaky performances. Well, not two, it was only one versus the Rams, and then like even before that, you had like the Browns and the Bengals, they were kind of a shaky performances.
Mhm.
So, kudos to the defense for really shutting it down, and Trevor Lawrence, I don't know how healthy he is, and the Jaguars aren't that healthy, but we didn't let them in this game. I think this game was over, like, after a certain point, and I mean the Jags beat themselves a lot in this game. Like this is gonna be a game they look at and be like, we could have won this game,
Right.
because they were in the red zone like four different times and they got like no points out of it.
Right.
So I mean the bend don't break mentality for the Ravens, it really, hung its head in this game. And I just really think that, the offense, the offensive line really struggled tonight. They really the tackles were piss poor tonight. Well, not tonight. It was actually a few nights ago, but they were not good at all.
Mhm.
Morgan Moses did not play well. Ronnie Stanley played absolutely terrible. I think actually Moses did pretty decent. He didn't do that bad, but like even when Makari came in, it just wasn't good. So I don't know, just very much worried because our next matchup is a defensive, unit. That's just doing it lightly. That's saying it lightly. Like I don't even know what words I could really use to describe the 49ers defense, but we might be in trouble offensive trenches wise. But we're gonna get into that in our 49ers breakdown or pregame. But you know, I, I really think that the season's gonna hinge on what the offensive line's gonna do, and unfortunately I'm worried about that. Lamar, he's going to do Lamar things, but how much can Lamar carry on his back before it gives out?
Right.
I don't mean injury. I mean genuinely just losing a
Right.
So that's something I'm definitely worried about. But I would like to like ask you a question before we get into like the stats and everything. I saw an interesting post on Twitter earlier today. It was like, how would you grade Top Monken so far? And I have my answer, and I'll say it afterwards. But what do you think about Todd Monken's offense? 14 weeks in, or actually 15, I think.
Um, you know, I think it's been pretty solid. I think it's the best way to put it. I think it's been pretty solid. Obviously, towards I want to say really up until maybe the Lions game. It seemed like the offense was really shaky and was trying to really find its rhythm. And then after the Lions game, it kind of got a little bit better. And then, after games like the Seahawks, um, I say the Seahawks has kind of gotten to where it is right now, and that's really
Mm,
solid.
right,
So the progression of the offense over the season, I say it's solid. And if I were to give it a grade, I'd honestly give it a B minus.
right.
I feel like there's still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
One thing about the Ravens is, I would like to see us establish a number one receiver. And it never seems
Yes.
we've done that,
Right.
in any of the offenses, maybe Anquan Bolden was like our number one wide receiver like from 2010 to 2012, but
Right.
um, since then, and then maybe Steve Smith, but since Steve Smith, we haven't really seen him have a number one wide receiver.
Mm,
And I just want us to establish that, very soon. I mean, because we have talented guys. We have OBJ, we have Zay. I
yeah.
feel like those are guys that could be our number one wide receiver soon.
Right.
Um, and obviously we have Mark, but he's not a wide receiver. He's a tight end. So there's only so
Right.
much, that he can do when it comes to the receiving role. But I would give it a solid B minus, if I'm giving a letter grade. Yeah. How
Yeah.
about you? What do you think about it?
I'm in the same boat. I think that the offensive line really holds back really the possibilities of this offense, because, you know, they're not giving Lamar enough time in some situations to find make a read and find a guy open. Sometimes you just got to improvise and, you know, maybe guys are getting open. It's just some guy is in Lamar's face now. So
Right.
I'm in the B minus range. I think B plus would be doing a little bit generous. Anything above that is just kind of, I think, a little absurd, but it like hasn't been. It's way better than Greg Roman's offense. I mean, let's just say that for what it is. Greg Roman's run concepts are probably unmatched, but I think that when it comes to the passing offense, it feels
Hmm.
like more guys are getting open.
Right.
Whether it's tight ends or wide receivers. So that's why we've seen Lamar's completion percentage skyrocket this year. So I just, me personally, I think that B minus is a fair assessment for the offense.
Hmm.
And it's gonna take time. I mean, you got to think like when you come into a new position, not everything's gonna be based around you just yet. I mean, we hired Munkin in like what, like March maybe,
Yeah.
maybe a little before that. So and we were dealing with the Lamar situation, so we never really have time or maybe even not even that much money to maybe build an offense fully around him. So I mean, we got like Zay and OBJ, yeah, but I think the most important, start to an offense is going to be the trenches, the offensive line. So me personally, I think that over the next few years, we need to rebuild or regroup this offensive line into something a little bit younger, something a little bit stronger, so we can have a five-man protection. Because honestly, I think it's embarrassing that we can have a five-man protection and four guys come, through on a blitz and they get through.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't happen. Like
Yeah.
we shouldn't have, Ricard or Hill or whatever coming as an extra blocker all the time. It's so I just think that the only way our offense is going to flourish over the next few years is if we can have that five-man protection from Lamar, which
Mm.
we've never really had. So that's my assessment on the offense.
And I also want to say, I hope, I really want us. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want us because we have to figure it out still, but I feel like we should try to establish now who's gonna be the feature backs for our running attack. We got JK, we got Keaton Mitchell, we got Gus, we even got Justice Hill.
Right,
It's gonna be a very tricky thing to like, are we gonna keep, four running backs on our roster, or are we gonna rock with two? I feel
right.
like we don't need too much. You get what I'm saying? And
Yep.
so that's definitely something that we're gonna have to figure out in the off season. How is J.K. Dobbins going to be back when he comes?
If he's even
So
here.
yeah.
So that's definitely a good question. I mean, I don't know what it is about us and running backs, but we just haven't been able to have a stable one for the longest time.
Mhm.
Mark Ingram was good, but then he got hurt. Forsett was good, and then he got hurt. I mean, we were rocking or putting out Terrence West out there in 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
Oh, he always would go on Instagram live and it'll be like one person in there. I remember.
yeah, after a freaking three carry. or 10 carry 9 yard day, So
Yeah. So
um
moving on to the stats. Jared has them pulled up right here. So he's gonna share his screen.
I don't put up just yet. Don't rush me. Anyway.
All right, so we're gonna start off with the passing attack. Lamar went 14 to 24 for 171 yards, one touchdown, one pick. Me and you were watching the game together. That pick was kind of crazy because he had likely wide open right in front of him, and I guess he just didn't see him. So
Yep.
that was kind of crazy. But even rushing, Lamar is leading our rushing attack with 12 carries for 97 yards, and this kind of looks like Josh Allen, Bill's stat line game a little bit, but he did his thing. I mean, he did his
Right.
thing.
Exactly.
Keaton Mitchell, prayers up for him. He got a season-ending injury, to
Yep.
his knee. It was a very, very ugly. If you've seen the videos, it was just a very, very ugly injury. So, us here at Birds of Prey, we send our prayers and thoughts to him. He had 9 carries for
Say that
70.
backwards. Our prayers and thoughts.
I thought some prayers and thoughts. Just
Hey,
good
continue.
vibes
Just
to
good.
him.
Just good. Just good.
So, Gus Edwards had 16 carries for 58 yards, one touchdown, and he now has 11 rushing touchdowns on the season, which
Hmm.
is pretty good. Justice Hill had 5 carries for 23 yards. We kind of got a taste of how he's going to be like, now that Keaton Mitchell is gone. So, hopefully he can, just be good and not fumble. Going on to the receiving, we have Isaiah Likely had another great game, 5 receptions, 70 yards, one touchdown. Isaiah Likely's a baller. He had that one great catch. I remember, I think it was like in the first quarter. Um, Obviously he had his touchdown catch in this game. And then he had that play where Lamar just extended the pocket. I mentioned it earlier, he just extended the pocket. He just, was buying himself time, and he finally launched it. Isaiah Likely mossed two Jaguars defenders, and he just went up there and got it.
That's
And
one of the plays of the years for us.
yeah, yeah, he just balled out. It kind of reminded me of that Mark Andrews play against the Browns, where Lamar just
Yeah.
locked it up and he just mossed all three. So,
I think this play is better. That play was awesome.
oh yeah, yeah, this play's better. Charlie Kolar, one reception for 15 yards. Honestly, I would have liked to see Charlie Kolar get the touchdown on that play, but they
Yeah, I was mad about that. I wanted him to get in there.
I really want to see more of Charlie Kolar. So hopefully, he's more involved in the scheme, passing scheme.
Yep.
Keith Mitchell had 2 receptions, 15 yards. I think that his second reception is the one that he got injured on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, again, it's sad to see him gone. OBJ had 1 reception for 14 yards. Gus Edwards had 1 reception for 11 yards. Zay Flowers had 1 reception for 7 yards. So,
Yeah, thanks for the 1 point on fantasy day.
yeah, so, it very, different guys stepped up. Different guys
Yeah.
stepped up in this game and got the job
Yeah.
done.
But as you can see, like it definitely wasn't a, which was kind of surprising because when they read out the stats, I mean, they had a better run defense and pass defense. So you could see it wasn't a passing clinic, it was a
Yeah,
running clinic. Look, 145 passing yards, 251 rushing yards. I mean, that's incredible.
yeah,
So obviously, just wasn't ideal in the passing game. But I think we can attribute that to the offensive line, to be honest.
right. So, you want me to read the defense, or are you gonna?
I got the defense, but
Okay.
I mean, before we get into the stats, how impressive is this defense, man? Like,
You know,
even after like it having a really, really, really bad week last week, they come out and just shine, in the bright lights of Sunday Night Football. And honestly, that's 2 games already this year where they shined in on prime time. You know, I
yeah,
really think that both Sunday Night Football games they really really balled out. Obviously they had that one blown coverage, and that kind of sucked, but that was their only score of the game. So and hopefully Marcus Williams is all right. We need him for the rest of the year. We can't have him getting hurt. Um, so I haven't heard anything about that. I heard it was day to day as
yeah,
well. Also, I heard Zay was in a walking boot. I
yeah. I
don't know if
remember
you
you
heard.
told me that. Yep, you told me that. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that's kind of concerning.
But I
Anyways,
I
oh
just want to
god,
say, this defense is amazing. The
oh
defense is
yeah,
amazing. Definitely, a get right game. They had Sunday.
yeah,
They got themselves right, got their identity back this season. We did allow that big play to Agnew,
yeah,
but other than that, they were really good. We stopped them on fourth down a couple times. We had a fumble recovery that slipped out of
We had two, I think.
yeah, we had two. One of them slipped out of T-Law's hands and we ran it back. I wanted them to run that back to the crib, but
Yeah, yeah.
you
So,
know,
anyways, to move on to the defensive stats, Kyle Hamilton had 7 total tackles, 6 of them were solo, 1 tackle for loss, and a pass deflection. Glad to see him healthy and on the field. Obviously dealing with the MCL sprain. I assume. Roquan Smith had 6 total tackles, 4 of them were solo. Marcus Williams had 5 total tackles, 4 of them were solo, and he had that great tackle before halftime to prevent the Jaguars from getting any points. I don't know if you remember that, but
yep,
that was a great tackle. Marlon Humphrey has 4 tackles, 4 of them were solo, 1 pass deflection. Definitely a better game for him this week. Had a very rough week versus the Rams, but I guess we can give him a little of a break. Coming off of an injury in the rain, in the cold, in the wind versus Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua. So I guess we can give him a little bit cut some slack to him. Arthur Millette goes for sorry, almost went 4 for 4. Wrong sport. But Arthur Millette gets 4 total tackles, 4 of them are solo. Brandon Stevens gets 4 total tackles, 3 of them are solo, and he has 1 tackle for loss. Patrick Queen has 4 total tackles, 3 of them are solo. Adafe Owe has 3 total tackles, 3 of them are solo. Jadavian Clowney has 3 total tackles, 1 solo. Kyle Van Noy, 2 total tackles, 1 was solo. Michael Pierce, 2 tackles as well, and also one solo. Same thing for Geno Stone. Matabike, Brent Urban, and even John Simpson gets on the action. He has 1 total tackle. And they all have 1 total tackle, and both of them, all of them had solo tackle. Matabike has a sack in this game, and Brett Urban has a tackle for loss. Matabike actually has 4 QB hits. So that price tag, I feel like I say this every freaking video. That price tag continues to go up. So hopefully we can pay that man. We need to pay him. Tyler Ott, Ronald Darby, Malik Harrison, and Jalen Darmer Davis all have 1 tackle. So as you can see, I wanted to say the fumbles. Let's see. Okay, the fumbles we had recovered from Mollett and Patrick Queen. So obviously, just a very, very good defensive game. Offensively, flip flopping, but definitely. I won't say a dominant win, but it's a certain kind of dominance. It's not like blowout dominance, but it's just kind of like ball hard football. I know you like that word. Yeah, I know you like that word. So, but
yeah,
um, I mean, I mean, I don't even know how to really grade this game because, like, I don't know. It's really confusing because like you said, you look at the score. It's like, oh, they could have dominated them, but I thought the Jaguars defense really played above expectations, in my opinion.
yeah.
Their pass rush isn't one of the best, but Josh Allen was, and I mean, what did I say in the video? Trayvon Walker, what's his name? Trayvon Walker, yeah,
Aaron Walker,
the
yep,
the most forgettable first overall pick. He had a good game. Look, 4 tackles, 2 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 QB hit. You see Josh Allen didn't get a sack, but he had 4 tackles as well and 2 QB hits. So I mean, they were feasting against our really suspect offensive line. Really
yeah,
suspect offensive line. Very, very concerning with them. Between the tackles, and I think the guards are doing pretty decent. And Tyler Linderbaum's an All Pro. So um, yeah, I mean that's kind of my assessment of this game. I actually kind of wanted to switch gears here into the standings to show, yeah, we're still in first place by 2 games. We are 11-3. Oh, and we did clinch a playoff berth this game. We haven't mentioned that yet. We
yeah,
did wind up clinching the playoff berth, and we can actually
yeah,
wind up clinching the division this week versus the 49ers. We'd have to win, and the Browns would have to lose. We have eliminated the Bengals and the Steelers from division contention. The Steelers can only get up to 11 wins. I'm sorry, they can only get up to 10 wins, and the Bengals, they can get up to 11 wins as well, but we have the tiebreaker over them, obviously, for beating them twice. So it's us and the Browns versus the Way, us versus Flacco. I guess I should show this. Nope. Um, the playoff standings. Ravens obviously staying as the 1 seed. The Miami Dolphins did get a dominant win over the Jags, not the Jags, the Jets, 30-0. The Chiefs did scrape one out versus the Patriots. Obviously Jacksonville lost to us. The Browns had a comeback win over the what was it, the Bears.
yep.
Bengals, I believe they beat the Vikings in an overtime thriller, and the Colts beat the Steelers pretty bad. So I mean, I guess I just want to ask, before we kind of wrap this video up. I mean, what do you like our chances for the 1 seed? With kind of got a hard schedule, man. Not even
Honestly,
we don't kind of have a hard schedule. We do have a hard schedule.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Honestly, I like our chances. I want to bring this up. I want to bring this up.
Hmm.
I remember I was talking to you earlier. There was a sports segment. I think it's on this. They're I don't know, but it just has LaShawn McCoy. He's one of the sports talk hosts on there.
Emmanuel Acho, I think Joy
Oh, I mean,
Taylor's
I
on
think it's
there.
called Speak. I think it's called Speak or something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Speak
you
for
know,
yourself.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They were talking about, are the Bills the best team in the AFC?
Hmm.
Where are we? We're the
Yep,
division leaders, and I feel like we've done enough. We've shown enough
yep,
resilience in games. We can get the one seed.
yep.
We should be looked at as the best team so far.
I agree.
We've learned from our losses. We're getting better every game. Our defense is dominant. Our
Right.
offense still, is I won't say developing, but it still has a lot to be desired and still not 100% having their best game yet. I feel like we can definitely get the number one seed and we will get it. I expect us to get it. I expect us to go into, San Francisco on Monday and win. I don't expect us to dominate or blow them out, but I expect to win. I really do. This is the game that you get OBJ, you get Zay Flowers for. This is the game that you get Roquan Smith for, and our defense needs to ball out for.
Yep,
And I expect us to get the number one seed. I really do.
yep. I expect us to get the number one seed as well. And I look, I'm gonna be real with you. I see a lot of people saying that they don't want the one seed because of the past, oh, Titans game, and then the Titans game again, and then and then what was it, the Colts game in 2006?
Yep.
I don't know. Like, we gotta stop playing to this underdog mentality. You know, if we want to be a consistent threat in the AFC, you're gonna have to you're gonna want people to want to come into the bank and be like, all right, it's loud, and it's a tough place to play. Like, we need to transition into a different brand of Ravens football. Enough of
Yeah.
this underdog, gritty, BS. We need to transition into a team where you fear them. You fear playing in their stadium. You fear their defense. You fear their offense. I'm getting sick of this, oh, like, let's get the 2 seed, let's get the 3 seed, so we can play in the wild card game, like, no. Why? Make it easy on yourself. And I don't want to hear this buy Russ bullcrap anymore. Like, just be ready to play. Like, it's only 1 week rest. It's legit, just 1 week rest. I would like to see them play in the Steelers game, and if everything's already wrapped up, maybe take them out in the second half or whatever. Play them first half, take them out in the second half. But it's only 1 week's rest, and we're not resting for 4 weeks. We're not resting for a month. It's 1 week, and like, are we gonna make those excuses if we go to Super Bowl and we come out flat at the Super Bowl? Like, after the week rest for the Pro Bowl, like, we gotta stop playing this or having this underdog mentality. We need to be. I don't even know how the top dogs in the AFC, pretty much. Like, we gotta stop. Like, you want to go, you don't want to go into Kansas City. You don't want to go into Buffalo. You don't want to go into, you didn't want to go in Foxborough when Tom Brady was there. You didn't want to go to Indianapolis. You didn't want to go to Pittsburgh. When they got the top seed, they used it to their advantage. We got to stop with this. Let's stay as underdogs. Maybe we can, win the Super Bowl, like going to the wild card. It's just like, no, we got to stop with that. Like, I'm really tired of it. It's playing scared, and it's like, instead of playing scared, play scary. So other teams can fear the Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
So that's kind of my assessment on that. Like, get the 1 seed, win the damn Super Bowl. Like, enough of this. What happened before? What happened before happened. It already happened. We can learn from that.
Right.
I think the 2019 team was the first time Harbaugh and company had gotten the first seed. We lost. We lost that game. We got outplayed. All right. Learn from your mistakes from then and regroup. I mean, this is what, 3, 4 years later. So just enough of this. Get the 1 seed. I'm getting sick and tired of playing underdog. I'm playing kind of scared. It just seems kind of scared to me, and I don't like that at all. I really don't like that at all.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree, and I see it as this. Let's get the one seed again. Let's show them that
Right.
that was a fluke. Let's show them what we can really do with the one seed. Let's be home and get these games home, like how you said.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
like because it really doesn't matter. It's down to it's not just down to skill, it's also down to luck. I've seen
Yep.
plenty of number one seeds, they get to bye, they still lose.
Yep.
Look at the Patriots in 2010. They were 14-2. The Jets came right in there and beat them, and it
Yep.
didn't matter.
Hmm.
Uh, so
And another thing is like if a team is hot or whatever,
yeah,
we gotta be the fire extinguisher. Like we can't play into their game. I'm sorry, we just can't. Like the times we had the one seed that we had to play Manning, and then like we had to play the Titans, and they came off hot. I I really do not think the Titans team in 2019 was better than the Ravens. I
no,
really don't. And
no,
Lamar elevated that team to a higher level. And this just goes for everybody. Like you can sit here and tell me Lamar's not a playoff quarterback, but everybody's got to step up. I keep saying this over and over again. Everybody has to do their part. Everybody.
right,
We have injuries. Oh well, everybody does. Come on, like we gotta like lock in. Everybody's gotta lock in this postseason because I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it because if Zay Flowers or OBJ are likely drop a crucial game, bro, in the playoffs, like what are we gonna say? Like no one's stepping up for Lamar. I think Lamar played decent in the divisional round, but like we all had Butterfingers that game. The defense was
right.
getting gashed, and it was just embarrassing because you go 14-2 and then you lose to a 9-17. So I don't know, like if a team's coming in hot, be the fire extinguisher, put them out. They're not coming in Baltimore and winning. I mean, the crowd needs to be loud. It needs to be deafening loud. I don't know how many people can sit in that stadium, but pack it to the brim for the playoffs. That's really all I gotta say for this video.
Yeah, and I said what I had to say, and I agreed. We need to take that number one seed, and we need to wear it with pride, wear it
Yep.
with pride all the way to the Super Bowl and win it. That's the
Yep.
goal.
Badge of honor.
Yeah. So I think this is all we have for you guys today. Great win. 11-3. Hopefully get to 12-3. Just got to keep winning, baby. And us here at Birds of Prey, we also want to, just continue to wish you guys a happy holidays. Staying safe out there, and just cheering on for the Ravens. Just keep supporting this team. This team is special, and we're gonna do special things this season.
Mm,
Um, yeah, also make sure to check out our social medias, our Twitter, our TikTok, our Instagram. Also, make sure to check out our second channel, Casual Cinema. And that's it. We're your host, TJ and Jared, and we're out.
Mark.